Thanks for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. Today, let's talk about the Wii U. I want to share some behind-the-scenes stuff on one of the games I worked on with the Wii U, some features that I wanted to implement and then had to cut when I realized some technical limitations of the Wii U. I'm interested in discussing this because this is a game that people have told me that they really love this game. I just had someone DM me this morning and said they're still playing it, and they brought friends over and they were enjoying playing it. And the entirety of this game is basically wish fulfillment for me as a gamer. What would be my perfect game for the Wii U using as many features as possible? And I want to discuss this because one of the features that I had to cut from the game, I realized it would be possible to implement that on the Switch 2. With the Switch 2, we have Game Share functionality, which allows the Switch 2 to use another Switch or Switch 2 console as a controller. So basically, you can recreate the functionality of a Wii U gamepad while having the primary game display on the TV. So I'm going to boot up Frontier Hunters mode. This is Silver Falls White Inside Its Umbra. It has multiple game modes. Frontier Hunters mode is a light rail style arcade shooter with heavy RPG elements. There's a massive amount of character growth, skill customization, and just stockpiling weapons that you get as reward loot. And that, in terms of weapons, they're dropped, they have randomized skills attached to them. You can level up the stats on the skills and everything. So yeah, this is basically wish fulfillment for me. And what I want to share with you is some behind the scenes stuff, some stuff that I had to cut. Now I've got two Wii remotes here. I have the Midnight Black and Zelda Golden. So I can log in with both. This is up to 4 players, so this one doesn't have any batteries in it at the moment. But this one, just very quickly, I can show you what the game is like. If you go to equipment here, you can see the various characters, and you can see the weapons that are available to you. These are default weapons that you start out with, but as you complete missions, you can get them with skills attached, and they would be in that gold area over there. You can pick the slot that you want to put the weapon into. And then you can check your party members. You can pick different characters. They all have different play styles because of the proficiency levels. You can also enhance your character. You can see that you earn EXP through completing missions, and you can level up the stats for your characters. You unlock more characters by playing the other games in the Silver Falls series. There's a bunch of other games in the Silver Falls series. These games can connect to each other with a handshake system. So if you've got, Silver Falls on the Switch or the 3DS, these games use a system called Code Linker, and it actually allows the playable characters from other Silver Falls games to cross over into other games. So I think in total this one has 18 or 20 characters. A number of the games that will be coming out in the future for Silver Falls will still be able to unlock more playable characters for this game, so they are already built in. And with the skill wheel, here you see you unlock these things called skill spokes, and your skill spokes are different shapes. Let's go ahead and just select this one here, and you can see these different skill spokes. I don't have many because I haven't really played this save file. This is just a fresh save file. So you complete missions and you earn new skill spokes, and then you use those skill spokes, and you have to touch those spots on the skill wheel. You hit the skill icons there and it will activate them. You can see I've missed one, but if I want to activate that one, which I can do, I've got a skill spoke that reaches that. Okay, that can remove it, and there you go. You can see that I've activated my skill wheel. I'm in the way of the wheel here. I'm blocking it. But you can see there are quite some very interesting shapes here, and they all will allow you to access different parts of the wheel differently. So this is how you activate your skills, and you may find that as you switch to other characters, you might need to swap over to take skill wheels off someone else, and then put those skill spokes on someone else's wheel. That's how you activate skills here. I love this kind of thing, this interesting way to activate stuff. The gamepad player actually has different gameplay. You can have up to 4 people that use Wii remotes to shoot the enemies, but the Wii U gamepad is his own unique character. This player doesn't shoot. This is if you have someone who doesn't want to use the Wii remote to shoot. They have their own thing. They can actually reload ammunition for other characters. As you know, in light gun shooting games, reloading takes time. So you have the 4 players, and while they are reloading their weapons, they are vulnerable. But the Wii U gamepad can use the touchscreen, and you can reload ammunition for other characters, but you can only reload the weapons that the players are not using. Players have 3 different weapons equipped, so you can reload the ones that they don't have currently equipped. You can also equip a mission item. You have dynamite, first aid drink, and a throwing knife. So if you want to help fight the enemies, you can throw knives, you can throw dynamite, or you can play the support character and be a healer with first aid. You can also earn EXP. So the gamepad player has their own EXP system separate from everyone else. You can upgrade the maximum capacity for your mission items, and you can also increase the maximum capacity for the weapons ammunition, but also the round per reload. So every time you drag and drop ammunition, every weapon seems to start out at 1. You only reload 1 round. If you level up that stat, you can reload multiple rounds per drag and drop. So this is something that isn't possible without a second screen. People have been asking me to enhance and bring this game to Switch 2. Because of GameShare, that is now possible. We can use the Joy-Con to control the shooting reticle, and you can have that player using the GameShare to use that second screen, but also the story mode 100% relies on this. The story mode has different gameplay, and it uses your gamepad like a smart device. So the story mode is a survival horror mode. I can show that to you in another video. There's a lot to get into. It's massive. Once in a while, I'll hear from people. They'll send me a DM or a comment, and they'll say they didn't find out about this game until just recently, and you won't be able to purchase this game anymore because the eShop for Wii U does not allow for new purchases anymore. That ended a while ago. But my position on this is I know there are unofficial ways to access games for these eShops, and my position on that is, hey, I'm cool, man. It's all gravy, baby. And if you find a way to play my games, because you can't purchase this anymore, so if you did not purchase this before the end of the eShop for Wii U, you won't be able to play it. But I have had people tell me that they found the game recently, and then just week after week they tell me, oh man, I just discovered this, I'm still playing this, I'm really enjoying this, I love the story mode. So if that is something that you do with your consoles, if you can find a way to play my games, even if it's unofficial, I'm cool with it, man, and I hope you have a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy this. Now, from a developer standpoint, this was so frustrating because I had such a short amount of time to develop this. Oh, here's a fun feature. The characters will actually look. If you have a look here, if I logged in with the second character and then came back to campsite, there'd be another character, but the characters will actually look at where the cursor is. That's fun. Oh, this is this funny mode here too. If you click on that, it'll actually flip the camera around. You can see the character that the gamepad player plays as, and this character also looks at the mouse cursor. It's just a fun little detail. So, in a very short amount of time, and the development environment for this, I was using Unity, and it was actually super broken. So I'm going to share some information with you. In all honesty, I only had I had 7 weeks to create the entirety of this game and finish it entirely. And that's because of extremely strict deadlines, and I had agreed with Nintendo to develop a number of titles for Wii U and 3DS before the eShops shut down, and I had to also work on those titles. So I only had 7 weeks to work on this game with a very broken version of Unity, but Nintendo and Unity did work with me. We collaborated on this, they worked closely, and they did find me the least broken version of Wii U, Unity for Wii U. And one of the issues was Unity crashes, all right? Game development environments crash once in a while. Unity, sometimes there's versions where it's the best version to use for the platform, but it's quite crashy. It would corrupt a bunch of stuff. It would just change a bunch of stuff. So there were things that I'd spent dozens of hours refining and testing, and then I would get a crash towards the end of development, and I ran out of time. And I couldn't just do another 200 hours of testing and then find whatever the crash broke. So there are a couple things in the end game they're a little bit broken. For example, in Frontier Hunters mode, on the 5th mission, there's an issue where one of the final enemies won't spawn. So that 5th mission won't actually come to an end, but you actually can go to other difficulty modes, so you can still play other missions. So it's really only that one mission that got locked out, and it's so frustrating for me because I put in a massive amount of effort, and basically what it boiled down to was Unity crashed at some point and just corrupted some reference somewhere. And if we had more time, but I can't, I can't roll out any updates to this, and I really want to improve the game, refine it, and bring it to the Switch 2 eventually, someday, because now I know that it's possible. And this is the one game where people keep asking me more and more, man, please bring Wii U to other platforms. They wanted to bring me to bring it to Switch, but there's no second screen, and this game absolutely relies on second Switch. I've had people asking me to bring it to Steam, and they've been saying, use a phone, use a real phone, but it's very complicated. So there's a feature that I wanted, really wanted. This was like, when you're developing something out of passion and your heart will just latch onto something, and it's just this wish, this massive wish, oh, I want this. This was something that I had a hard time letting go. I wasted a little bit of time just trying to figure out how to make it work, and it didn't. So I'm going to turn the... Right, I can't turn the music on because of the noise reduction on my microphone won't pick it up. So what happens is, I every time you come here to the hub area, music plays. And look, I'm a gamer, so I know what it's like when you hear the exact same song over and over again, or exact same piece of music. Song has lyrics. Exact same piece of music, because you have to return to a particular area, and then it just starts grinding on you, and it starts chipping away at your sanity, and you feel like you're going to snap. It's like this for me whenever there's a Suzuki commercial that comes on TV, or no, Isuzu, and they play You Can Go Your Own Way. And that, it pushes me close to the edge of just snapping and putting my fist through the TV, because I can't stand having to hear that song over and over again. And it's frustrating because for the Isuzu ads on TV, the car commercials, they copy and paste their scripts. They never actually say anything new. With the new Isuzu SUX 6000, You Can Go Your Own Way, plays the song from Fleetwood Mac, You Can Go Your Own Way. I'm gonna snap. I'm gonna snap, right? I feel like I'm venting here, but that is something that genuinely, I'm gonna put my fist through the TV. So I know what it's like having to hear the exact same piece of music over and over again. And so I bring that up because that's something that is important to me as a gamer. So how I designed the music in this hub area, because you're constantly coming back to this place, is I've recorded, I think there's 12 different instruments that can play. And what the game will do is it will randomly pick, I think it'll pick 2 of those instruments, so it will always play the bass line. And I built a custom acoustic bass for this. I built an 8-string bass that has octave pairs. So when you play, the low E, it also plays E an octave up. So I built acoustic bass specifically for this. So it always plays the bass line. The game will randomly pick 2 other instruments, and then it will play them alongside. So the music feels familiar, but it always sounds different. And to me, that evokes the sense of friends coming together to hang out. They're sitting around a campfire and they're strumming their instruments and just relaxing. That is the feeling that I wanted to go for here. And it's what I had to compromise on. Originally, how it was going to be is that the game always plays the bass line on the Wii U Gamepad. So you turn the volume up and you hear the bass line coming out of this guy. for every Wii remote user, you hear music coming out of the speaker. And I had programmed this. This was functioning. So every time you come here, your music, you hear it. So you have you and your friends or your family, and you're sitting around your living room, and you each have music, and it feels like you're sitting around, it feels like the music's coming from you, and that's what I wanted it to feel like, because these characters are sitting around a campsite, the music comes out of the speaker, so if you have 4 other players using Wii remotes, and they're sitting around the living room, they also have music coming out of the Wii remotes, and it was working, and it felt so cool. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to feel like you're sitting around a campfire, you're all contributing to the sound in some way. But there was a problem. When I streamed music to the Wii remote, the frame rate of the game was significantly reduced. So if I streamed music to this, it wasn't so good on the screen. It became choppy. It was extremely difficult. I'll tell you, on the Wii U, it was extremely, extremely difficult getting these visuals on here and getting this sort of performance and frame rate. These are using modern physically based shaders. I didn't use volumetric lighting. I used a number of techniques to just give it, it feels like it's a modern visuals and not necessarily, a simplified Wii U game. It was extremely difficult, and I can't talk about my conversations with Nintendo. We worked pretty closely on this, but again, I have to be careful at what I say, but they did let me know, I'll just paraphrase, they basically said, whoa, look at the graphics on that scene on the Wii U. I can't believe that's running on the Wii U. And obviously I'm not sharing anything sensitive, but it was to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, I can't believe that's running on the Wii U. So, that really bummed me out, man. Because, look, as a developer, you are constantly accepting compromises, and you have to accept, okay, this isn't going to work. We'll go for whatever's next best that works. That's fine. You get used to compromising as a developer. But as a gamer, oh man, I wanted that. I really wanted that feature. Music, you're sitting around and your friends are hanging out. One of the features that we saw for the Switch 2 is that the Joy-Con 2 can actually play sounds through the rumble feature. So I do not yet have a Switch 2 development kit. I don't know what goes into that. I highly doubt you can just stream an audio file, stream a piece of music to the controller. I would suspect that it's significantly more complicated than that. But eventually I will bring this game, I will enhance it and bring it to Switch 2 one day if I'm able to get a Switch 2 development kit. And at that point, I will try to implement this lost feature. I will try to have the music play out of the Joy-Con 2, if it's feasible, if it's possible. So, yeah, it was a bummer, but having music come out of here, it caused the frame rate to drop, and having multiple audio streams coming through the Wii remotes, it just made the game crawl at 1 or 2 frames a second. Look, that's one of the features that I had to cut. There's a couple other things, you have to just optimize and get things to work. Oh, I just realized there is a second character there. So, yeah, that's one of the things I really am looking forward to getting a Switch 2 development kit, because I want to bring this game, I want to enhance it and improve it. Obviously, there's going to be massive visual improvements because I will be able to implement volumetric lighting. It's going to look gorgeous. I can make the backgrounds the environments just a little bit more rich and detailed, higher resolution textures and everything like that. I implemented a massive amount of tricks to get these to look well. All of the textures on the environments are actually pretty low resolution, but I used a technique called detail mapping. And with a detail map, you can tile a high resolution texture. You can tile it over and over and over again and overlay it on top of other textures. And so I was able to fake making it look like in-game textures had higher resolution by tiling detail maps over it, because there's an extremely limited amount of memory available for textures on Wii U. And the characters themselves have pretty decently high texture resolutions as well. So there's There's one small Easter egg here that I'll share with you before I check out here. And I don't know if anyone's even figured this out. So this is funny. This is the gamepad, and again, you can flip that around and you can see the character that you're playing as, right? His name is Owl. And he appears in other Silver Falls games as well. But when you're holding this, that's actually his legs, you can see, because the gamepad player would be sitting like this. So you're holding it, so it's as if the character's holding it. This is a small Easter egg. If you try to poke his lap, he says random lines of dialogue. Now see here, you're being too friendly. And you can keep poking him, and he'll say things like, ouch, you stop that now. So this is a fun little Easter egg. I don't think anyone's ever tried that before. But I thought it'd be a fun little Easter egg. And he'll just keep telling you to cut it out, you know. Oh, he's laughing. Okay, yeah, so hey, thanks for coming to hang out. I thought that'd be fun to talk about. It'd be interesting, primarily because I still get people that tell me that they did pick this game up at launch and they're still enjoying it. I hear from people that say that they've found it recently through unofficial means and that they've massively been enjoying it. So I'm so glad that people are still enjoying this. This is the game that I'm most proud of because it's a massive technical achievement in terms of using the hardware in interesting ways. I can talk, if you guys want, let me know. I can talk about the story mode a bit. And I'll just show you the upgrade menu. Oh man, I love RPG elements and stuff like this. So these are the weapons that I have equipped. I'll select my shotgun, and you can see that I have stats. So you have damage, your crit rate, reload, and capacity. I don't have any moose tokens, so I can't upgrade it. So this is a kind of game where you just keep doing missions over and over again, back and forth, and you enhance your weapons, but then suddenly you'll get a better weapon drop that's got a really good skill attached to it. You find a new skill spoke, and you realize, oh man, this is a really good skill spoke. I now can have a really good loadout. You check out your skills, and you realize, you know, oh, you can have another way to play this character, or another way of playing a different character. And so it's a game that you can just spend dozens and dozens of hours on and enjoy the light gun shooter mode. So anyway, I hope you had fun taking a look at that. Do you have a favorite light gun shooter? Because I grew up in the arcades absolutely loving House of the Dead, Time Crisis. You got to step on the pedal, which is really fun. House of the Dead. I just love the cheesy voice acting. So any of those games, I'm happy to play them anytime. All right, take care, everyone. I'll see you around. Thanks for coming to hang out. Cheers.